What's up guys, Rhino here and welcome to my latest FIFA 19 video. This particular video guys is going to be me completing another one of the daily FUTMAS SBCs. So you can see for the 20th of December, EA decided to release a 86 rated Dele Alli in cam of course. Jordan Lukaku, who's as a left mid in 81 overall. Kind of surprising maybe make him as a left back. I think his base card is left mid this year, but he's been a left back in the past, and you know that was possibly like a potential thing there to maybe make that card a bit more desirable if they put it as a left back or maybe even like a left wing back. It wouldn't have been too outrageous. And there's also an 84 rated Leon Bailey, which looks okay. He costs about 50k though, and considering the links that you can get off of him and the kind of like how poor the Bundesliga is this year, I don't personally believe that he's really worth it. I'm not going to do Jordan Lukaku either, just because it costs about 15k, and I think there's a reason for that, because he just really isn't that good of a winger, to be honest. So I am going to be doing the Dele Alli. Now, this is an interesting one in terms of like, I think it would be worth it for some people and not for others. Now, it costs probably just over about 100k if you were to do it from scratch. You don't have like any players in the club. So probably looking at that, looking at the card like that, he's probably not worth it. I mean, his base card I've not actually used this year, but from what I've experienced in previous years, he doesn't normally tend to be that kind of like OP. So 100k does seem a little bit outrageous, but the big thing for me personally, and I would have thought for a lot of you guys out there, is that obviously we've only just recently had a FUTMAS Heung-min Son. Now that's obviously a strong link there to Son, and also for me as well, I really like Harry Kane on this game, so that's a perfect link to Harry Kane with Dele Alli, and I can get a very nice little triangle going on with Son, Kane and Ali, whether that be using them in their current positions, or I could also, that you have the option to drop Kane into midfield and you can get a triangle like that. It just depends on the formation that you're going to play, really. So there's a few different possibilities, really, if I was to pick up this Ali. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and do it, and as you can see, I've got the squad here. It still cost me probably about 85-90k, regardless of me having a few of the players already. The only players I had really were like kind of some of the kind of like 83s and 84s. They weren't really any of the high rated ones already in my club. So most of the players which are going to make the value of the SBC were the ones I had to go and grab. So I couldn't really do it that cheap, unfortunately. But it is what it is, and as you can see, the requirements for this particular one, you need at least 2 Premier League players. You're only allowed 4 nationalities in the team, so that's what makes it like a little bit more difficult, because you then become a little bit limited as to which particular players you can grab. Like, you can't always grab the very, very cheapest ones out there just because what nation they are. It has to be at least an 85 rated team, which is obviously going to boost the value of it a little bit, which is why it's about 100k. It does need 80 chemistry. Now, as you can see, this particular squad for me does get exactly 85 rated and exactly 80 chemistry. Now, I wouldn't recommend going out there and buying this exact squad, just because, well, for one, I mean, obviously you guys, you got players in your club, and I'm sure there's probably a more kind of like better value for money way of you doing it. Just buy off the players you have. And the other thing to note is that a couple of the players in this particular team for me, they have loyalty because they're like first owner ones. So if you were to literally just buy this team straight off the market, I don't think it would actually quite get the chemistry. So that is one thing to note. So I wouldn't go out there and buy it like specifically, but this just gives you an idea of kind of like the the caliber of player, like the standard of players that you need to put into the team, and just kind of shows that can be done with 4 nationalities, and just but it's not exactly like confusing. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys the team which I've done, and obviously just so you can see that I've got Ali, because I don't want to be like later down the line you see him in my team and like, oh, when did you get Dele Alli? Well, here it is. So the nations I've gone for are German, Belgian, French and Spanish. Now that's just kind of based off what I had, really. So like I said, if you guys have got like a lot of English players or a lot of Brazilian players in the Premier League, something like that, then it might be a bit more beneficial to you to put those players in. But for me, this is kind of the way I did it. You can see I got some players that are really badly out of position. So I got like Lacazette playing right back. We got Ozil playing left back. Like centre mid out on the wing. So a couple of players out of position, but it does work. Now, I've got Leno in goal, who I had to pay about 4k for. Obviously an 84 overall, just slightly under the rating threshold, but I make up with that with a couple of other players. So he's pretty cheap, not a bad player to go for. Other German players are So Ozil, a left back, I had to pay for him as well, like 18.5k, but that's actually quite cheap for an 86. There's a few 86s out there that are much more expensive. Thiago actually being an example, one of the players in this particular team. Gundogan is a player I already had. He's an 84 overall. You know, not a bad player to put in really. I didn't really mind putting him in. And also Thomas Muller, another German. I had to pay about 20k for him. So like I said about Ozil, I was a little bit cheaper really for Ozil. But Muller gets in there. Originally I did actually kind of start to go with like a full Premier League team on this, but I couldn't quite get it because the only way to kind of fill in the last couple of positions was to put in players who were slightly like higher overalls than I needed to put in. So I was like, well, I'm not going to go out and buy an 88 rated player when I only need like an 86, because obviously, you know, an 88 is going to cost much more. But I had, at that point when I was trying to get the last player in, or like last couple of players in, I still had about like 90 plus chemistry. So I was like, well, I can just chuck somebody in from a random league, because, you know, you got that cushion with the chemistry. You only need an 80, so I just may as well just do it. So I put in Muller, and also you can see I got Thiago as well. It's not Premier League. We'll go back from the bottom. So French is literally just Lacazette in the end. Actually, I did have a couple more in there, I think, originally, but in the end it literally just ended up being Lacazette. He's a first owner, so that was quite good. Belgian players, we've got Company, who I paid about 13,000 coins for. It's not like... I'm sure it used to be cheaper, to be honest. I'm sure it used to be about 9 or 10k, but it might just be because of these SBCs it's gone up a little bit. But it didn't seem like too much to pay really in the end. Alderweireld is about 15k, so it makes Company look cheap, to be honest, considering they're both 85s. So yeah, Company's a little bit better value for money than Alderweireld. There's Moussa Dembele as well, who was a first owner. I actually got him in my FUT Champions rewards. And that's it for Belgian players, and that just leaves us Spanish, which is that little trio on the right hand side. We've got Juan Mata, who I already had in my club. We've got Thiago, who cost 21,000 coins. He was actually the most expensive player in the team in the end. 21,000 coins for Thiago did seem quite outrageous, but that may possibly be because of the Marco Reus SBC. But in terms of players that were from any of these nations which I had already, I couldn't actually find anybody that was cheaper other than like Muller and Ozil. Obviously they're already in there, so I feel like I got the cheapest ones I could. And the final player is Alvaro Morata, who was also a first owner player. So yeah, a couple of the first owners were like the 83s and 84s, like I said, which meant me obviously having to go out there and pick up a couple of 86s, which ended up making the team cost a little bit more than I would have liked to. But in general, I don't really mind submitting that. As you can see, we're going to get this Dele Alli card. I'll sort of bring up his in-game stats in a second. He does look quite good, to be fair. Like I said, he's going to work quite nicely for me personally. Like if I ever want to get a team on the go with a little bit of a Tottenham kind of trio going on, which I have had in the past. I used to use Moussa Dembele instead of Dele Alli, so that would be a nice little upgrade. So that'll work quite well. A few ho-ho-hos. Same like dynamic animation as Son. I don't know if that's the same for all the FUTMAS cards. I think Son and Ali are the only ones I've done. Pretty sure, I may be lying, but I'm pretty sure it's the only ones I've done. If there is another one I've done, I got a very bad memory, but yeah, same animation as Son, that one, but that's interesting. So he's 6'2", which is quite good. You know, I'll probably play with midfield. Let's face it, I'm not going to move him up front or anything like that, even though he is quite a good finisher. High medium work rates aren't too bad at all. I was a little bit surprised he only had 3-star weak foot, to be honest, when I first looked at this card. I thought it would have been 4. 4-star skills is okay as well. And if you go to like his in-game stats, so you've got, you know, pretty solid pace for midfield. I'm not sure how that equals 77 pace when he's got 74 acceleration, 78 sprint speed. I think that'd be 76, but you know, we're not going to complain with that. Personally, I'll probably put a Hunter chemistry style on him, just because I always like to, with my centre midfielders, they either kind of have like Hunter or Shadow, depending on how I see them playing in the game. And I'd certainly see Ali being as more of like an attacking midfielder than a defensive midfielder. So I'd probably put a Hunter chemistry style on him, which obviously ramp his pace right up, and it would put his shooting like in the high 90s, which would be incredible. Probably 99 to be honest. If we have a look at shooting stats, so this 89 attack position, that's really good for a midfielder. Finishing's 86, which goes with his 88 composure, which you can see under the dribbling header there. Decent shot power, pretty decent kind of like long shots, things like that. Passing stats are pretty decent. You know, like 87 vision, 87 short passing. Not that good at free kicks. 77 curve is kind of okay. Dribbling stats, very good on the ball in general. Only 63 balance, but I'm not sure that's going to really impact him too much in centre midfield. I think that's more for like a winger who's need to be like move at high speed, so that should probably be okay. Defending's not actually that bad, like 69 defending. That's, you know, it's pretty good considering I would see him as more of an attacking midfielder, so it's quite good that he's got that up his locker. And then yeah, physical stats like 92 stamina, absolutely brilliant. 68 jumping, that's going to be more than enough for a player 6'2". 72 strength again is going to be more than enough for somebody of that height, and 86 aggression. So he's going to be getting stuck in as you would expect from a man like him. But that's it really, guys. That is the card. He's definitely somebody I'm going to be... I'll certainly have him on my bench for this weekend league. I'm not going to go ahead and change my team just because this team did so well for me last weekend, so I'm not going to mix up too much. But you can see I've got some pretty good players on the bench there right now. I'll probably actually... I'll swap him out for Koke, actually. Koke's okay, but he isn't like an amazing player. I certainly think that Dele Alli would probably be a little bit better. So yeah, Dele Alli is going to go on the bench there. But like I was saying, you know, you factor in as well, actually, I completely forgot about the player of the month, Lucas. Like, I'm sitting there now with, you know, FUTMAS Son, FUTMAS Ali, player of the month, Lucas, Harry Kane, who I can pick up if I wanted to. I really like Harry Kane on this game. So there's some really, really good links there that, you know, if this team suddenly starts failing me and I get a little bit fed up with it, I know exactly where I'm going to go. I know exactly what route I'll go down with my next team. So it's good to have that option there, just from players that are untradeable. But yeah, that's how you get Dele Alli done, guys. Obviously, like I said, it depends on your current situation, really, whether you think you might be worth it or not. And as to whether you did Son, really, I think like people that did FUTMAS Son will definitely go out there and do FUTMAS Ali. People who didn't do Son maybe be a little bit unsure, but to be honest, guys, even if you didn't do FUTMAS Son, base card Human Son is absolutely insane as well. So I would just go out there and get Ali, just link him with normal Son, like normal Kane or normal Dembele, anybody like that. It'll work really nicely for you. I would definitely recommend it. But that's going to be it, guys. Hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, then feel free to leave a like. Comments, let me know what you think about the particular SBC, and also the other two as well. Like, if you do think that maybe like Leon Bailey or Jordan Lukaku are worth it, let me know your reasons for that in the comments below. But yeah, that is it from me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you can also, you know, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, things like that. Link's going to be in the description below. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.